now proudly presented on SNME. That's Sunday night's main event. Patreon and free feed.
Yo, we just people from the north side. Want some Timmy's at the shore fine. Winter ready on the four ties. Heavy traffic during 4-5. Gotta hustle on your own time. Color people every port side. We just people from the north side. Want some Timmy's at the shore fine.
Hey guys, what's going on? It's your boy George Mackay sitting down here, Battle Arts Beaverton, with my homie, mi hermano, my familia, all these other crazy words that I could throw out there. But one of the two men who gave me the opportunity to live out my dream as a commentary, and I'm forever grateful, the one and only Ronchee One himself, Ronchee Ronnie Randelson. How are you, buddy?
Not too bad. How you doing, man?
I'm good. So let's talk a little bit about Battle Arts. Mississauga, you came in as partners with Santino and AC Coca.
Yes.
And you guys kind of saved Battle Arts from being closed, essentially,
Yes.
because Anthony was thinking about selling it off and letting things go, but you guys came in as two third partners. Now it is just you and Santino running the ship, and then you decided to expand here to Beaverton.
Yes.
Beaverton, I know logistically because it was a lot closer for you, but why at that time did you feel like it was necessary to open up a second location?
You know, when we moved out here, someone told me to come to Beaverton to look at the place, right? To look, because there's a lot of good restaurants, a lot of good stores. So I came out and I just saw this old movie theater, and it just looked great. And it's been for lease for a few years. So I just thought about it, and I talked to Anthony, talked to AC, and we just decided to do it. We thought, little town, fantastic, because there's not much to do out here. So all the kids come in here, the adults, the wrestling shows are always filled up. It's nice.
It is nice. It's a great environment. I love coming here. I love the town is beautiful, but as being the heel commentator, I do have to crap on the town a little bit, but I don't mean what I say, not all the time. Sometimes, yes. Sometimes what I say is factual.
I love hearing it all.
It absolutely is true. And I appreciate that you give me that freedom and stuff like that. And I honestly have to ask, because I don't think I've ever asked, when I know we were talking when we first started developing our friendship and our relationship and our brotherhood, you, me, and AC, and I just kind of put the bug in your guys' ears. What was it about me that you felt that, you know what, we should give this guy a shot?
Well, we gave you, we asked you the one time to go out there and start the show off, get the crowd going, and you did such a good job. The crowd was going crazy, and the way you talked is just on the fly. You were really good with it. So me and AC just said, let's give him a shot at this, because I think he could be really good. And you've lived up to the hype, buddy.
I honestly, I'm humble when you say stuff like that, because everyone's their own toughest critic. Even when you and I talk about some of your matches that you've had here in Beaverton or everywhere else, you're like, it was so, it wasn't this and that. Do you feel like being hard on yourself has made you a better business owner, has made you a better professional wrestler, has made you better understand this business? Because you are running two promotions, between spreading your time between Battle Arts and Battle Arts Rising Stars and Battle Arts Beaverton and Mississauga, and also HWE.
Yeah.
You really are kind of the one only promoter that I know of, at least here in Ontario, that is running three promotions: Beaverton, Mississauga, and HWE.
Yeah.
That's a lot, man.
It is. It's tough. There's a lot going on, and sometimes I forget which show I'm going to that night. But no, everything's been working great. And yeah, to answer your question, yeah, it helped me out a lot. It makes me understand more about the business, more about wrestling, and it has helped me out big time.
And I know that, like you said, you mentioned there was not a whole lot to do, but one thing that you guys do great is you do have a kids wrestling program.
Yes, I get a lot of nasty emails and a lot of bad comments out in line for it.
And that's why I actually wanted to address it and bring it up, because
Yeah.
a lot of people say you shouldn't really be starting pro wrestling training till you're between the ages of 16 to 18 is usually the norm for a lot of people.
True.
But then you hear the stories of like a TJP who started at 11.
You know what? It's all about how you train the kids, right? I'm not bringing kids out here. They're not bumping, no big moves, nothing. They're learning strictly philosophy of wrestling and chain wrestling. They're not taking any bumps. They're not doing anything. They're learning strikes. They're learning all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, we had a little match here. The kids were practicing for a long time. Not one bump. They just told a story. And it was a great match. The crowd loved it. And since that show, so many more kids actually signed up because they loved what we've been doing.
They love what you put on.
Yeah, and to let people know is we're not gonna like hurt a kid. Come on. What we're doing is letting them learn the art of wrestling. And they're literally learning chaining and running the ropes and the stuff that they will be really good at. And then when they do turn 17, 18 years old, they're gonna be masters at that.
Yeah, and then they're going to learn how to take the bumps and learn how to level up their move sets and their
Exactly.
repertoire.
Exactly.
So the basics. So a lot of people who are sending you these nasty emails, and I mean that is the problem nowadays. With everyone has an opinion, whether it's good or bad, and a lot of times you can't form your own opinion because you're just supposed to be like, oh, do you hate this or do you like the idea? So the emails and stuff that you were getting, have since then some of those people maybe changed their opinion or perception on the program?
I have no clue. I'm the type of guy, I never comment back. I've never once commented back to a bad email or a bad post online. I just stay away from it. I do what I feel is right, and I don't think I'm doing anything wrong here. I think the kids are enjoying themselves. They're not getting hurt. We're not doing anything bad. They're just learning an art.
So what about, like, I mean, how old do you have to be to do jiu-jitsu or do Muay Thai? What is the age level for that?
I teach 4-year-olds.
So that's what I'm saying. It's okay to teach combat sports to a 4-year-old, but to teach somebody the art form and the psychology, because a lot of people don't understand wrestling has so much more psychology than it does just doing a move.
What I feel is what people are thinking, that they're going to be coming out and giving each other pile drivers and doing heavy hits, heavy moves. But it's not about that. So I like to say that they're coming here and they're learning how to wrestle. They're learning how to do the basics. And it's not even basics too. Getting good at chain wrestling is not easy. There's a lot to learn.
It is, like this. Listen, I called that match. I called that match and I watched it because I was the commentator that night. And it was thoroughly entertaining. Yes, did the kids have a couple harder segments of matches in terms of the chain wrestling, like from a simple arm drag to a clothesline where the kids were a little bit unsure of what they were going to do?
Yep.
Sure. But did they tell a great story, and did all 3 kids have a smile on their face?
Yep.
They absolutely did. I even, myself, I want to toot my own horn, I booked my first ever segment in a show. I was the one who came up with, for the Battle Royal, have some fun because it was Halloween, have the 3 kids come out in the center of the ring. So all 3 youngsters came out, 2 boys and a girl. They came out, and all the vets, all the older students surrounded the ring, just climbed up to the top rope, and everybody said boo. And all 3 kids scurried
Just
away.
ran out.
And it was hilariously incredible to see.
The kids on their match and in the Battle Royal got a bigger pop than all the wrestlers.
Absolutely. And it was great to see a whole bunch. Like, I believe even the kids got a little bit of a standing ovation near the end.
They did.
Because it's not hard to be 11, 12, 13 years old and putting yourself out there, especially now in a culture where we're all about being inclusive. We're all about putting each other, being comfortable in your own skin.
Yes.
But to go out there at 12 years old and to put on a show in front of a room full of 100 complete strangers, it's hard to do.
You won't believe how proud I am of these kids. They worked so hard, and watching them in training and watching their, I put my head down most of the time like, oh my God, this is not going to be good. They knew the match in and out. They knew everything. They knew how to do it. But when they were practicing, it was just, they weren't putting it all into it.
Right.
But when that show came, those kids, I couldn't believe how amazing it was.
And I mean, what is it? Did you ask the kids after the reaction of just coming through the curtain for the first time as the character that they designed, the character that they created? Did you sit down in your next class and be like, all right, guys, tell me about going through that curtain? And what did the kids say?
Oh yeah, it was not even then. It was right after the match. After the match, I went to give them all a hug and a high five, and
they probably couldn't even stop talking.
They thought they were like Stone Cold Steve Austin. They were like on cloud 9. It was amazing. And that was that. The parents loved it, and they just had a great match. That's all I could really say. Like, I'm proud of the kids.
Absolutely.
And they're doing even better now, and we have more people that started. Some kids that, man, everything that they learned that whole few months that we were training, they're learning it in 2 days. Like, they're just getting it. It's like, it's made for them. They're made for it.
So let me ask you this: as you get kind of in the older years of your career and you take more of a backstage role as opposed to being in front of the stage, which you're still doing and you're still doing great. I don't care what you say. You're your own toughest critic. But I will say this. But what is it like to see the next possible, like you're already training the next crop of talent that's going out there. You're green lighting wrestlers.
Yeah.
You've got great trainers both here and at Mississauga.
Yeah.
But what's it like seeing not the next generation, but the next generation of possible superstars? Like, you're training kids that could, when they are 17, they're going to come here and be like, Dave,
who knows?
I'm ready to take that first year class.
12 years old, and if they keep what they're doing till they're 17, 18 years old, do you know how good they will be?
They'll be like the prodigies of a Billy Starks or a Nick Wayne.
Unbelievable.
Absolutely.
Like, when it comes to the philosophy of wrestling and the chain wrestling, they're going to be great at that. And then the other stuff, you'll learn that. You'll learn that fast too, because they've been doing it for so long.
Like, if I'm a student coming into a wrestling show or a wrestling class for the first time, when your teachers are sitting down with them, before they even, it's a whole crop of new students. Doesn't matter the age, 17 to 29, let's say.
Yeah.
The first lesson, the first class, what do you do? Are we talking about taking bumps, or is it more lecture-based, like saying, wrestling is so much more. You have to understand that you're telling a story without words. Commentators, we fill in those words for you. We are the narrators, but essentially you are doing this performance piece without any words. Do you spend your first class kind of letting them know about the psychology aspect of it, or do you just say, all right, guys, we're going to take a bump?
So when it comes to the adults, I can't answer that question. I don't train the adults. I'm not experienced enough for that. That's why we have, like, the coaches that we have here. They've been doing it for a long time. They're amazing at what they do.
Fantastic coaches.
And me, it's all on them. They could do it. They give the green lights. They do that. They call me and tell me what's going on, and I listen. But when it comes to training adults, I don't do that.
But you love the kids. You love the aspect of the kids.
The kids is great. Yes, I've been teaching kids jiu-jitsu for, it's about 10 years now.
And like you said, you've had as young as 4 and
Yep.
as old as 10.
Yep, and every night here I teach jiu-jitsu kids classes 2 times a night, and then I do adult classes. So I'm teaching a lot of kids jiu-jitsu, and then the kids wrestling I do it twice a week.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your family life. I like to get personal sometimes.
Okay.
You have an incredible wife. You have 2 amazing kids. Your daughter, a cutie patootie just like your wife. Your son has so much more intelligence that you'll ever have.
I can't even. Yeah, I'm an idiot compared to this kid.
The kid is a genius.
Yeah,
He's an absolute genius.
I don't know how he took my wife's brains, because
Absolutely.
if he
But
took
you know
mine,
what?
he'd be wrestling in the ring with me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Could you imagine that? The Ronchee family?
The Ronchee. Actually, we had him in a couple matches.
You
actually.
did,
Yes,
and
yes.
he actually kicked you in the
Right in the nuts.
genital area.
Yep.
Yeah, he pretty much told you that he was going to be the baby of the family forever, because he stopped whatever future kids that could possibly happen, even a noob's baby down the line.
Yep.
That's gone now.
No.
Vasectomy was free. If you guys want a free vasectomy, just enroll with your children in wrestling and have them kick you in the nuts.
Exactly.
It's perfect. So let's talk about you're an incredible family man. You're an incredible husband. You're an incredible father. You balance these promotions so well. You wear your heart on your sleeve. You surprised me by showing up my 40th birthday and giving me an autograph from one of my favorite, my goat, Sting, and I literally almost cried to tears. I slept with it that night, by the way. I did.
I kind of figured you would.
I did. I slept with it. I loved it. It's hanging safely and securely in the basement. But every time I walk by, I'm like, look at you, you handsome son of a bitch, you. But you're one of the most generous and kind-hearted people ever in my life, and you've raised such an incredible family. How do you find the time to balance it all?
It's tough between both gyms. I don't go to Mississauga that much anymore. I try to get out there at least once or twice a week, and I'll spend the night there. I like to go because Neil. So what we didn't mention earlier that yes, me and Anthony, we were running the place, but we brought Neil in, and Neil Ewers is one of our wrestling coaches, and he's an amazing wrestling coach, Olympic alternate. He's great. He runs Beat the Streets Toronto. So he helps a lot of children too, getting them into these type of activities.
Amazing.
So he's the one running the gym in Mississauga.
He does the day-to-day
He does the day-to-day, and we talk every day about what we want to do with both places. So yeah, we have a really great connection. And with Anthony, he's always involved with all our conversations too. So between the 3 of us, it's been amazing.
Absolutely. And
Yes.
it seems like a really great camaraderie that you 3 have.
Yes.
About just excelling everything to do with combat sports, whether it be the fantasy and the psychology of pro wrestling, to the Muay Thai, to the Jiu-Jitsu, to everything that you do, and the classes always seem full, and it's great that you're allowing these combat sports to grow and evolve. But what would you say is the next step for Battle Arts? Are we going to see a 3rd location down the line? Are you guys looking at possible other areas to expand into, or are you just focusing on keeping Beaverton growing and keeping Mississauga expanding even more?
A 3rd would be great. It would be fun, but it would be too much.
Absolutely.
You were asking me how do you balance it between the family,
And then at
this
that
and
point, you would just be stretched too thin.
Yeah, so I'm actually in Beaverton. I'm here quite a bit. I usually come here. I'll drop my kids off at the bus stop, and then I'll drive out here, get here about 8 o'clock, and I don't leave usually till 10 o'clock at night.
Right.
So I'm here quite a bit. I finally have more coaches here that are teaching, so it gives me more time off so I can spend more time with the family. But in Beaverton, we're not open Saturday, Sunday.
That's huge.
That's huge. So I
get the
always get
weekends.
the weekends with my family for us to go to dinner, go hang out, go to a movie, whatever. Chill out at home. But it's been a lot better now, so I'm spending more time with the family.
And with the more time with the family, is the incredible TikToks that, if you know Dave's wife,
Oh, God.
she forces him to do. And
She
some of
does.
them,
She forces me.
so, you know what? It's a forced love, is what it is. Because when he does it, he looks at the videos, he looks like he doesn't even want to be there. But there was one video they did, I can't remember which one. I think she was planking or balancing on your back, and you fell, and she fell, but you two rolled over just howling and laughter.
Hey, it is funny.
It's fun.
It is.
Admit it, it's fun.
I'm not
It's
gonna
fun.
lie. I do enjoy doing them.
There it is, proof, Tara, we got it.
Oh yeah, she knows. I wouldn't do it if I didn't enjoy it. You know, for her, she does it with her other business too. Like she does Beachbody, and she's a Beachbody coach. She's been doing it for years, and she's great at it.
She's the lady is a beast, but one of the sweetest people you ever meet. She has bigger pythons than Dave ever hopes to have. Her arms are like, wow, man.
It's scary.
It's but listen,
She's the one who should be wrestling, not me.
Let's say it like it is. You and I, we both punched above our weights with our women. How we got two incredibly beautiful women to pay attention to us, I don't think we'll ever know.
I say it's because I'm good looking. That's my reasoning.
I think it's because I have flow. I have flow, and I can keep a conversation going, and I'm funny.
Yeah, I just say it's the good looks because
It's the good looks don't
it's the
lie.
good looks.
The good
yeah.
looks don't lie.
That's what it is.
So, Tara, what you're saying is that you settled for Tara. Tara didn't settle for you.
No, I can't say
you can't
that.
say-
We settled for each other. Put it that way.
So, balancing the family, not open on the weekends. You got Mississauga. Everything's going well. In terms of, I guess, your wrestling career, now you're going back and kind of having these matches with people that you've watched come up in this business that are excelling. Tonight, you're facing Mike Forte, and he's somebody that you were trained with from your start.
Me and Mike, I had my very first wrestling match against Mike Forte, and that was his first singles match against me about 5-6 years ago.
Wow, we're talking almost
Yeah.
half a decade ago.
Yeah, it doesn't even seem like that long, but we have good chemistry together. We've trained together. Like when I first started wrestling, I was doing probably about 3-4 private lessons a week with Rip Impact.
Great trainer here in
Yeah,
Ontario. Has
Rip
trained a ton of fantastic
amazing.
people.
But Mike would be at all those private lessons. So me, Mike, and Rip would be together a couple times a week training. And then, since we've been training together, let's have our first match. And Rip's like, let's do it. And that match was absolutely amazing. My very first match. And I watch a lot of first matches, and, they're good. But this one here, I don't know. There's something about it that worked great. The crowd was hot for it. They loved it. And, Steve Brown, Hacker, Del Bruno. At the end of the match, they came up to us and it says, "Man, I've never seen a first match like that." They actually built me up. For me, I was only going to do one match.
But they actually kind of gave you that.
They made me feel like a superstar. I'm like, hey, maybe I could do a couple more matches, and here we are.
And then you started HWE with AC, and then everything kind of kicked.
Yeah, and then AC had a great run as tag team champions. God, yeah, we did great together. We had a couple singles matches. We had our little feuds. And yeah, it was amazing.
Absolutely. So I got to say this to you. I got to ask. I think about in terms of like you and AC, not tag teams anymore. AC and you parted ways amicably, of course.
Yes.
But in terms of developing a tag team division, which I haven't really seen in a lot of the promotions. HWE does have a thriving tag team division.
Yes.
But at Battle Arts, have you thought about bringing in a tag team division?
Battle Arts, we are going to start doing that soon.
Because you are a tag team wrestler. I mean, as much as you're singles, you
Yeah.
made your bread and butter as a tag team wrestler.
Yes,
So
100%.
I feel like you should be paying homage to tag team wrestling.
Yeah, for
a little
sure.
bit more than you do. I'm
For
just going to be
sure.
honest.
For sure. We are going to do a tag. I don't know if I'll be doing tag team anymore.
No, but you can at least definitely help in the psychology and building
Yes.
these matches in terms of
100%.
building this division.
And we do have a lot of upcoming students that are doing really well. Even in the independent league circuit right now in Mississauga, some of our students are excelling big time. They're competing on a regular basis, a couple times a week. They're doing great. And here in Beaverton, we're new here, so our students are new. But yeah, we're starting to get people that want to do tag team matches. They're getting, how am I trying to say this? It's getting better. Mm-hmm. And we're going to have a lot more tag teams going on soon with HWE.
So keep your eyes on that.
Keep your eyes on it. It might be a little longer than normal, but I want to do it right.
Absolutely. Now, I got to ask this. I know you're not a coach, but you do sit in on a couple of classes.
Yes.
And you kind of are there in case students want to pick your brain too, because you have been in this business for a minute, so
Yeah.
you know some things that you're talking about. But let's talk about the kids' classes.
Okay.
So when the kids came up to you and it was time for character development, all right, kids, we're not wrestling today, we're not running the ropes, we're not going to learn chain wrestling today, we're going to talk character development. Give me your ideas. When a kid comes up to you and says, man, they're so excited that maybe that the young lady that was so excited, or the two boys, was, all right, Dave, listen, this is my character.
Yeah.
When they gave you the pitch, they gave you the character pitch. Were you like, okay, I see it, but let's fine tune it this way? Or were you like, oh my God, that is hands down a gimmick that we cannot do because you are children, so we cannot do this gimmick?
Well, we had, so I said, right, when they told me their names that they wanted, each one was great. Like, I liked it. I gave them, you do it. You say what you want to do. You get your costumes. Costumes. Get your outfit, your wrestling gear.
Get your gear together. Yeah, absolutely. So when they showed you, when it was day to, I guess, come in and work on the entrances and do all those things, what was like a funny moment for you to look back and be like, man, that's how I felt when I was...
the young girl,
yeah.
Trixie.
Trixie.
She showed me her outfit with her mom, and right away I'm like, nope. Too young for what you're wearing right there. There's no way. You shouldn't even have showed me that.
Yeah, right.
Right? So we tweaked it. We kept the same costume. We just added some layers. Yes. And that was really the only thing. Other than that, they picked their names. They did a great job with it. I let them pick what they wanted to pick. And I would fix it if it was a little bit too much.
So I got to ask this because I've always been intrigued about the Rising Stars formula that Battle Arts did. And I know you don't really have your hand involved in all of it, but like you said, you talk on a regular basis with the coaches out there. So when a coach says to you, so basically in terms of champion selection, when you have a student that is excelling and you know that they're excelling and they're reaching that pinnacle, is that when a coach will call you and say, listen, at the next Rising Stars show, so-and-so's dropping and we're putting the belt on this guy? Do you go back and maybe look at some of the footage or some of the matches they may have sent you to see if this kid is ready to carry the banner as a Rising Stars champion? Because when you're a Rising Stars champion, you're pretty much greenlit. If you get the belt, you're greenlit to go out and start taking bookings.
Yep.
We have our faith that you can represent Battle Arts. I was trained at Battle Arts. I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Is that how that works? Not to pull the curtain back too much, but is that how it works? I've always been intrigued by that.
I don't even know how to explain it. I think I like people who deserve it to get it.
So people who have put in the work, who show up to every class.
They're there. They're working hard. They're helping other students. Coachable people. That's what I like to say. And I don't have many. We don't have many students out here that aren't coachable. They're all good kids.
No, they are amazing.
So it's really tough to choose who would be the next champion.
Right, but when you look at the crop of these amazing students that you see the ones that are greenlit, you see that they're working, that they're getting their names out there, and that they're representing that flag of Battle Arts. Because they could say, well, dude, you're killing it. Where were you trained? I was trained at Battle Arts, and I've interviewed a ton of them. And I see the growth and everything that they're doing. Do you feel like a proud dad that you were able to keep this Battle Arts program running, not only running, but to expand this program?
I would say I'm more proud of my coaches for what they're doing.
Absolutely.
They're amazing. They're amazing. Like I said, Jody Threat's unbelievable.
Phenomenal.
Shane Saber, Fuerza, Mark Wheeler, John Greed comes in.
You know that Fuerza is my best friend, right?
Is he?
He is my best friend. He is my best friend. It's not, he didn't deny it, but he didn't accept it.
Yeah.
But he's my best. Like, you've seen the pictures. We're pretty good. We're tight.
Yeah, I hear a lot of stories like that.
That we're best friends and we're not best friends?
That people are best friends. You know what I'm trying to say.
So what you're trying to say is that I shouldn't put too much stock in Fuerza telling me that, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Fair enough. That's fine. It breaks my heart a little bit, but I'm going to accept it. I've grown and evolved. as a person. But I still say he's my best friend. I'm going to stick to it because in my head, that's the way it is. But
kind of reminds me of the Johnny DeLuca and Clay Wilson best friend thing that was going on.
That was unfactual. That was because we all knew that Clay Wilson is a scoundrel. He's a scoundrel.
But Johnny was sure they were best friends.
But they weren't. And everybody, listen, no offense to Johnny DeLuca. I love Johnny DeLuca. He's a fantastic talent, but he got played.
He got played.
And he should have known better.
Yes, he should have.
Clay Wilson is somebody who says he's fighting from Montreal, yet he's from Niagara Falls. Okay? Clay Wilson's outfit, his monikers, everything about him, even that horrible French accent, was all purchased at the Dino Bravo estate sale. Okay? It's fact. We know it.
I love it.
I'm going to get past Clay Wilson now because Clay Wilson infuriates me. But when it comes to Battle Arts and what you're doing and everything that you're doing about Battle Arts, what is the one thing you could say as a business owner that you took on or you designed or you developed or you maybe revamped to kind of elevate the Battle Arts name?
Oh, wow. I would say the coaches.
Bringing in the new crop of coaches.
We kept a lot of the coaches, and we brought in some new coaches, and our coaches are all fantastic. With every single martial arts program we have world champions. They're just unbelievable. That's what I could say. I think it was the coaches that did it. They brought in more people. The memberships have been going up and up since we're bringing in new people. So, and you got to see some of these guys. Our first Battle Arts MMA fighter, his first match. The only student that actually fought in MMA won his first match.
That's incredible.
It was a great match. This guy went out there and he destroyed.
Absolutely.
It was unbelievable. So our coaches are doing a great job with them.
All right, my final question, because we got to try to keep it wrestling. We've done a lot about building up Battle Arts in this great program.
Yes.
But let's talk HWE.
Okay.
HWE was on a hiatus for 10 months.
A while, yeah.
Then you come back with Renaissance, and you bring in Aron Stevens as the creative director.
Yes.
And the creative direction and vision that Renaissance was a resounding success. It was an incredible show to be at. The vibe was great. Everybody was relaxed. Everybody was happy to be there. But having a former WWE talent, current NWA talent, helming your creative vision for HWE, what is that like for you?
It's unbelievable. That's all I could say. Like, I had a vision for HWE. Me and AC both had a great vision for it. We did what we were doing, and then things changed, so we're trying to revamp it. And I had an idea. I pitched it to Aron. I told Aron, this is what I'm thinking. What do you think? He goes, great. Let's just add these couple elements to it. And then come the show day, I was in shock. How great that show went. Unfortunately, it wasn't a huge crowd.
No, but that was probably because of the 10-month hiatus and people not really remembering that you guys are still there.
But after that show, I've had so many messages, so many emails, so many phone calls saying, I don't know what you guys are doing, but it's absolutely amazing. I've never seen independent wrestling like this before.
No.
The stories you guys are putting together. He goes, it was great. It's not one story. The whole show is a story. Every character has something going on. And they're all happy, and they said they can't wait for the next one.
Absolutely. I can't wait to call the next one. But I have to ask this one last question. Having Aron Stevens as your creative director, I may or may not confirm or deny that I did hear that he gets a fashion allowance for those horrible jackets that he wears. Are you actually footing the bill for this fashion? Are you actually footing the bill for these?
Am I footing the bill?
No, well, apparently HWE has granted him a fashion allowance. I can't confirm or deny where I heard it from. Could have been Aron Stevens, but I can't confirm.
I'm not saying anything.
But seriously, come on. Did you buy that jacket?
Would I get him that jacket after what he did to me at that show?
Well, no.
At Renaissance?
But you could have purchased the jacket before the show, before he stabbed you in the back again.
Always. I'm not going to answer it.
So we're not going to get a clear answer.
You're not going to get a clear
Okay.
answer. Yeah.
So there may or may not be a fashion allowance for Aron Stevens. We cannot confirm nor deny. And I think that's a great way to leave this interview off, with a unconfirmed fashion allowance.
For sure. That's a great way to leave off this interview.
So if I were to cut out unconfirmed and just put confirmed, I could really edit that soundbite into saying that you could confirm. But I wouldn't do that.
I wouldn't be upset.
No, you wouldn't be upset.
I wouldn't be upset, but it'd be kind of fun.
I feel that though you did purchase that jacket.
Maybe I didn't.
And if you did, that's horrible. Because that thing should never have seen the light of day. And I'm sorry, Aron. You're a great guy, but that jacket is fucking horrible.
It's hideous.
It's
hideous.
It makes me want to throw up a little bit in my
But
mouth.
it does suit him.
Oddly enough, yes, it does.
It does suit him.
It's like if Prince and Rick James' fashion wardrobe had like a one-night stand, that jacket would have came out of it.
Yep. Yeah, that's true.
George
That's
Mackay,
nice.
Ronchee Ronnie Randelson, here at Battle Arts Beaverton. Guys, stay tuned and give Ronchee the time of day because he's a pretty cool guy.
Thanks, brother. Thanks
All right,
for having
guys.
me.
Peace, love, and wrestling. We'll see you next week.
for watching. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and turn on that notification bell so you get notified each time we post a video. Alternatively, you can check us out on all podcast platforms and hosted on Podbean. We are also available on the SNME network. That's the Sunday Nights Main Event Patreon. Please feel free to check us out there as well. And don't forget to follow us on all social media platforms at _Straight Talk on Twitter, at Straight Talk Wrestling on Instagram, Straight Talk Wrestling on Facebook, Straight Talk Wrestling on TikTok, and of course, you can check out all our merch at ProWrestlingTees.com.